Let's talk today about How to Live an Extraordinary Life by Anthony Pompliano. This book is written, published by Harriman House, and this is a good 200 pages book in some mid-size font. And I think it is Anthony Pompliano's first book. It was published somewhere in 2024, and it's a nice book because it is written from a dad's perspective. So he has written 65 letters to his kids, each letter being a life advice. And what would he like as a dad, what would he like to tell his kid, or kids, as a dad? All of those life lessons are in form of letters, and they are in this book. So he's roughly chosen around 60 to 62 topics, and those become part of this book. So each of these chapters are not really chapters, but these are advice or advices. So the way you would want to read this book is possibly go through one of the advice that strikes a chord with you, and read it. Nothing is sequential over here, so you can pick up from any page, read the advice, and go ahead, read a few more, and keep down the book. I will call this as an airport read. You could read it when you are traveling to a place or you are on a flight, and it's a very light read. So something about the author. The author is currently an investor and an entrepreneur, but I think before being so, he was working, he was rather serving in the US military. So a lot of advice you'll see when you read comes from his time when he was serving in the US military. So that's a very interesting perspective. He has also spoken to another author I heard on a podcast when he spoke about the book, and he's also spoken about his company and things like that. So I'll give the link in the description in case you're interested to hear more about his point of view on the book and some of the other things. Let's talk about some of the letters from this book which I thought were interesting. One of them is carve your ethics in stone and write your opinions in sand. So that is the advice he's given, and let me read out to you. He says that because your ethics are non-negotiable, carve your ethics in stone and write your opinions in sand, because opinions tend to change over a period of time. So you should give yourself the flexibility of erasing them. So write your opinions in sand, carve your ethics in stone. There's one very beautiful line in the book, and he says that when faced with questions of ethics, you should make the same decision every time. So it's not an ethic if you're not making the same decision every time. So this is one very beautiful letter. It's a personal favorite. Some of the letters are dedicated to financial advice, and you should definitely read them because the author himself comes from or rather has an expertise in finance. He's a investor after all. So a couple of them are Rich People Sell Too Early, and I think the second one is about investing. Let me check over here. Yeah, Rich People Sell Too Early and Buy Great Assets and Hold Them Forever. So these are a couple of chapters that are dedicated to finances. Then one of the letters is about childhood, and he says childhood is not a crutch. So a lot of people have a habit of blaming their present selves to whatever has happened in the past, in their childhood. So he says it's not a crutch. You should not blame your childhood for what you are today. I'll not talk more about it, but it's a very beautifully written letter, so should definitely read that one. Then there is one that I would like to read over here, is the advice is magnets attract opportunities. So he has narrated a story when he's saying that he wanted to expand his clientele, and he was thinking of what could be done about it, and how he was thinking of doing cold emailing and things like that. And Then he thought to himself that instead of me chasing the clients, what if I myself become a resource that the clients would be interested to talk to? So he started with his own podcast series, and he started posting on Twitter, and he started talking about the industry and the domain, which in turn developed an audience who were now interested in talking to him about investing. And that's how he kind of expanded on his clientele. And he says that um, these founders were now interested in having me invest in their companies because I could talk about their company to my larger audience online. Not only could I invest in their business, but I could give them exposure and distribution. So this is a fantastically written one. Magnets attract opportunities. um, one of the articles I read, Anthony was being interviewed by someone, and the interviewer asked him that if you could only give one advice to your kids out of all the 65 written over here, what would that be? And he says that luck is not real. So there is a letter over here that says luck is not real. That's the name of the advice. And he says that would be the one advice I'll give my kids. He's talking about being good decision makers. Life is a sum of decisions that you make. So at the core, if you become good at making good decisions, uh, you don't have to worry. As if your kids get in a position where they can make good decisions for themselves, as parents you don't have to worry for them. So train your kids to make good decisions. So that would be one advice that he would want to give to his kids. So definitely, if you want to read something which is light, you can definitely give this a try. Thank you.